Follow me.
It was, yes, it's a follow him regardless.
And he could have focus.
Mommy, no, what?
You were called
Hold
for
on,
mission.
all along I
No,
thought.
maybe that is wickedness. Welcome to That's Grace family. So this is Desan,
Joshua.
Susanna.
and we are That's Grace family. Okay, welcome. Okay, guys. All right, so remember to hit that thumbs up and remember to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that whenever we post, you will know. All right, so let's get right into it. Mommy called us to a meeting, so I'm handing over to mommy because it's mommy called a meeting, don't it? Handing over to mommy. Yes, mommy.
Okay. It was a simple question. It should create some form of thinking. You don't just well, I would want to hear the surface opinions first and then thinking about it, what it is that you think. Now guys, viewers, you can also think about it and join in this discussion. What if you're getting married and you hear that your mother died? Would you still get married? Tell us, what will you do? Any of you wish to begin?
God, we're not giving you any ideas. This First
is
of all,
not-
let's declare that in the atmosphere.
This is not an idea.
We don't receive that scenario.
This is not
in
an
the,
idea.
In the name of Jesus, we don't receive it.
This is not a command to anything in the atmosphere.
Of
anything
no way,
like
shape,
that.
or form.
This is just a rhetorical question. We come against it in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
That's the first thing.
Now that's out of the way. All right.
A really strange question, don't you think?
I think it's a really strange question. But even though it is strange, it is something that
Mommy,
happens.
the surface answer is we not get married that day. That particular day.
What are you talking about? On the day?
Yeah.
That's what
It can happen both ways. It can happen on the day, as well as the week
In the
of
season
the wedding.
of the wedding.
Yes.
It was already planned.
Yes,
Yeah.
the wedding is being planned.
Maybe I still get
What,
married.
then what if it is on the day and you heard that she died?
What after right as mother all the time earlier work.
You're going
I
to
about
the church.
to.
You're at the church waiting for your bride to come.
And you already dead. You're not sick, you're in the hospital, you already passed.
You just dead, so you just drop dead because you're supposed to be dead at the wedding and help plan and help cater. You just drop so.
It happens
Were
because
you
you
at
have
the
some
wedding?
persons.
Were you
You were at the wedding venue and drop down and we carry to the hospital and you pronounce
I've
dead.
known persons who got married and their mom is in the hospital.
Yeah.
She got sick before the wedding
Mm.
and was in the hospital and the wedding still continued.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if it was you, would you think, no, is it something that you think that you would do? You planned the wedding already. For the girls, they'll be on their way to the church and they get the news that your mother passed. Or in the morning before time, you're getting ready to prepare yourself for the wedding, your mother died.
It really don't matter how you phrase the question. My answer is no. That's not you have a different answer.
But that's not that. I feel like moms are influencers.
Alright. So I kind of have a different surface response from Desan for a couple reasons, and
We count on that,
because
we count on that.
and because of a couple experiences I've had, not with exactly in terms of being married, 'cause I've never had that, but in terms of doing important life things and having mommy in the hospital, right? And I remember even while studying my bachelor's, every single time I had a major exam or something major, mommy was sick or on the verge of what me think was dead.
Everything
that happened. And that happened for 3 years, about 3 years, or that happened 3 times while I was in my bachelor's. 3 times. You understand? And I remember probably the first time, and mommy said, if you are going to the examination and you heard that I died, go into the exam and do the exam. And as hard as it sounds, I carried that. And so even though I was preparing to go into a presentation to go talk about artwork, and I hear that mommy have one emergency surgery, in that moment I remember, if I die and you're about to do something that is life-changing, do it. Never done dead. You leave it when you're there and come with me there, come a dead body. Don't change semi-dead. So do the thing that you can do. And so I carried that. And now I know it will be a difficult day, because that is a day that I want my mother to be at. That is an experience that I want her to be at. That is a season of my life that I want my mother to be there, and that I would feel so cheated and I'd be very angry. But at the same moment, I don't think whether I married that day or I postponed the wedding to a year later that I would feel any better. I really don't think so. I don't think a year is going to change how I feel about her dying. And so as hard as it is, I know ultimately I would still get married on that day. Things wouldn't go as planned, but I would still get married on that day.
And you would still expect me to give the weight in the speech?
Yes.
No, that would be one of the things that don't go as planned, because you probably won't be there.
No, because me and never married.
And wouldn't your sister? Wouldn't your sister want you to be there supporting her and holding her up?
Mommy, I have no energy for hold up no sister as it regards to wedding. I have energy for hold up my sister as it regards to our mother, not our wedding. One thing at a time.
So you're saying on that day, not only would I not have mommy, I wouldn't have you either.
Me gone to the dust too. Me blow away.
What is it then, Roy?
At first, I thought the question was
Silly?
just abstract but cool.
Really was abstract.
Woo.
Well, while thinking about it, I realized it really makes sense. Because when I'm thinking about the pros and cons, what I will do is not necessarily what the person I'm marrying will do. So that's a good question. Because when I thought about would I still get married, or the next person here, so my mother died, they might take it a different way.
They're not going to
And what if it was their parents that who had died?
Oh.
Well, but for me though, I believe it really, as they would say, takes two to tango, but then again it's a married day now. Me and you already decided that we're going to do something, or they make a commitment, so I'll do this thing. However, something happen. What?
A life-changing event.
A life-changing event happen. However, life-changing events are going to happen when we get married too. So what is it? Every time something life-changing happen, we now get married. That is how I look at it, but I'm saying my spouse, that's who I choose to marry, me not look at it that way. Suppose her mother died. No,
Your spouse might be like me. Your spouse might literally be like me.
Yes.
Like, why expect me to get married? Like, you really expect me to say vows now and tell them, well, I love you, I'm mushy.
And it might come off wrong and I just might get frustrated, you know, and I might feel it as disrespectful, like as a sense of betrayal, or I don't know.
And if you can't handle that, picture now, so you're going into the marriage with somebody grieving, not the nice person, you lovey-dovey, honeymoon state. They're not in that state of mind now. So if you can't handle the simple discussion of should we still get married, and she's saying something and you feel
Hence the reason why I said after I thought about some important questions, so that is why the conversation really need to be had before
I was waiting on you guys.
But that is thinking of marrying me, it's not happening.
But that grief though, this is the thing. You're saying, all right, you won't get married on that day. But when will you get married? Because some people grieve for 2 years.
Some for 10, 20 years.
So is it the case? Is it the case where you just want time to receive the impact?
But do you know that
in that moment,
do you know that the grief? Some people, their marriage break up after they start losing their parents because they don't know how to deal with a grieving spouse. So that is what you're going into the marriage with, a grieving spouse. You don't start figuring out how to be a regular spouse.
So it is something to talk about that I never think that was something I'd have to discuss with somebody, but this is a very serious cause. Listen to me.
Right.
Wedding costs money.
We talk about in sickness and in health and
that does not mean that
and a richer for poor, for better or for worse, and this is a better or for worse thing.
And some people just think that marriage is just the words you say, but actually it's not just the words.
No, exactly. It is actually a covenant. It is a covenant.
It's like a contract you're going with somebody. As I said, to be seen as disrespectful that men already make an arrangement.
Disrespectful from both ways.
And alright, well, look at it this way. Look at it this way.
I didn't tell you
it could. So to get back to your point, then look at it this way, Desan. When did you need your spouse to be comforting you during that time?
That is what I am
instead of pushing him away.
I comfort you and look.
Then they'll comfort. Whether she did the day when we married or the day after we married or a year, he's supposed to be there to comfort.
Guys, I'm honestly not being selfish. I just don't think I could be thinking about
but this time. I'm not being selfish. We know you. As a matter of fact, I expected that for you to say no. Because I know that anyhow someone to mommy on your wedding day, wedding cancelled and everything else.
Cancelled, not even postponed.
Cancelled. Not wicked. Oh no, wicked bad.
Marriage is a serious argument.
Oh no, wicked bad.
Marriage is serious.
Right.
Marriage is serious, and I understand your point when you say that it all depends because your spouse may think that you may want to go ahead, but your spouse may believe that as a Desan, I hate getting married. This is some karma.
So it would have come in like say everything that we have done before or happened
makes no sense.
Made no sense. But because of one incident, that as Desan said, it's life changing.
It's not like we don't love you anymore. I want to get married. It's just
some people see it as a karma. This is just saying to me that I'm not supposed to marry you, regardless of how nice you are and how we think we are compatible. I don't think we should get people think it's a sign.
Okay, well the 3 people sitting here, your 2 children don't think like that. It is not.
No, but it is outside of you. It is outside. It is also with our viewers, and it also with even your spouses. It may not be you, but it may be your spouse.
Share.
So it is something that you guys need to talk about.
Mommy, I don't want my wedding anniversary to always be Mommy's death anniversary. So something I forgot to change.
Alright, can we get a little biblical here?
Okay, go get biblical.
In St. Matthew, where one of Jesus' disciples came to him and said, "Can I go bury my father?" They were getting ready to go over the next side of the river. Where they
his father?
Thank you.
And he said, "Can I go bury my father first?" And Jesus told him, "Let the dead bury their dead."
But am I dead?
But it was his father.
You sure I'm father?
It was him.
It was his father.
Let me read that scripture there because all along.
Who is the dead burying the dead?
All along.
The dead in the ground?
He was already called to be fishers of men.
I
He
thought
was already called to be a disciple. So what he was now called to do was to come and learn the ways and to go for it. And he wanted to go
what
back
kind of
to bury
teaching
his
Jesus
father.
going to teach me when me agree with my
I
family?
beg your pardon?
Jesus said, follow me.
It was, yes, it's a
And
follow
him
him
the
regardless.
and him could have focus.
Mommy, no, what?
You were
Hold
called to
on,
mission.
all along I
No,
thought
mommy, that is wickedness. No, mommy.
Hold on. So
that it was some uncle or
so
something
when
like
Jesus
that.
come on to the Desan, your mother
Alright,
is not your mother time now. It's
Eh?
ministry time. What you gonna do?
Then I. My mother and no.
But some things we have to suck it up.
When it's time to pick up, I have no faith. I have
Some
faith.
things we
No,
have
but
to
that's
suck it
a
up.
wickedness.
This is what happens when we don't talk about things, you know, when we're not open to things and even to think of a possibility, and we rule things out and say, under no circumstance.
Yeah, man, we need
But
to
when the
stop that.
circumstance come, we act differently. Because here you are saying you may not get married, and jolly well on that day you do get married. Ask yourself this question: what do you think I would want you to do on that day?
I know that you
It is not about what you want me to do. It's about how I feel at the moment. It's not about what you want me to do.
You agree with
You are not the one grieving. You are in the grave.
You're not in the grave, but I died.
You're gone. That's why because you're in the grave already. You're gone.
But you shouldn't be grieving as someone without any hope. You know, your mother is a Christian and she should be in the arms of the Lord. So why is it that you're going to be grieving?
But her grieving you on her grieving you doesn't mean that she's not grieving with, you know, and have lost hope. She's just grieving. She not reach and lose hope yet. She's just grieving.
And look at it. If then why are you saying that his spouse, he'll find it disrespectful? Do you think your spouse probably would find it disrespectful too?
Don't make a commitment.
Feel like the spouse know you too.
Mommy,
Feel like
I
the spouse
know
you
my
too.
spouse is going to
But
love
feel
you
like the spouse know you
like
too.
his mother.
Yes,
like,
and not just my mother dead, a fee mother dead
it's not
too.
gonna be just a me about it.
Exactly.
Me and consider
so that means it can be
It's personal.
two of you can actually come up with a decision to say, alright,
And
let's
for a mother
postpone
dead.
it until another time. Because it can happen that way too, you know.
And let us not rule out the possibility.
Especially if it is on the same day. You could probably say, alright, could we postpone? But remember, you have on a goat put on for cook and on a cake bake up. When probably the cake can stay. But what about the food that is being prepared?
Mommy.
You see the thing about it
Me not
for
only
me,
me not only for wedding if God say
What is
another
it?
one dey on the wedding day.
I was saying let us
So
not,
they goat can't spoil if I grieve, me agree.
What are you saying then, right?
I was saying let us not rule out the possibility that a conversation can be had, but on a different day, it's also a different reaction.
Yes, when
Yes.
when the death, the sting of death lick your skin. All who say them are gonna marry, drop out down and ground can't even function. And me who say me not enough still about at the top. I say I do. Yeah man, be glad you say that. Be glad you say it.
Because the concept,
Yes, be glad you say
Because you can say
it. Talk
anything
it, talk
now.
and talk, anything.
concept is really dangerous.
Yeah, it's actually when you're going through the thing.
I know what you ever do.
That's I'm wondering sometimes what are you supposed to look at when the bad time? Is it that you're looking at all the things that happened before and what you know as a person? Or in the instant something happened and all of that just changed? Or were your priority something before then it changed and you're saying no, you don't have to change my entire priority now because this situation happened. So it's really difficult to see how a person react or how they would think in terms of
I just
trauma.
don't know.
Because trauma
Yeah.
can really change a whole person's
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
I'm saying the grieving spouse is a very different spouse.
And most person don't think like me, so.
Guys, I know it would be hard. I know it would be hard because I can actually feel you guys tearing up just thinking about it, and I probably tearing up too. But knowing the pain of losing a mother, I probably would understand how it is that you feel. You understand? But also too, I know that if it is that you have to do something, even though you have lost your mother, you can still muscle up some strength and go ahead and do it. And it is really, as we are here discussing, it is not just a one person thing. It is a two person, it is a two family, it's a two person thing. And even to the nitty gritty of it, is actually on the day, even though you may discuss it, on the day that decision will have to be made, especially if it is on the day it happened and it is still fresh. If it's in the week, you have some time to discuss it. You understand? To say, should we still tell the people to turn up?
One thing for sure. Because the goat when I talk about spoil same way.
Well, at least it can go on the freezer for another week or two.
Exactly.
And if it's up the location, you'll have to change the venue. Then we have to consider all these things, you know, all the things, the venue and all of that, you know. Persons coming out and to wish you guys well.
The thing is to me, as I said, most people don't think like me. I just consider it a loss and move on or spend the money. And if you decide to the wedding is not have, because you have to respect the other person's decision based on what they choose.
Yeah.
That's where it comes down to. I mean, want to get married myself, so I want to get married.
Are you gonna still love them?
And guess what? You have to respect the other person's decision. You want to go ahead and it's not like say you don't want it to be forced, because
no, you don't want it to be
forced. The marriage to because I'm gonna say you forced me to do this when I never give me time to breathe.
That's never a thing I ever wanted.
The decision is not only yours.
Exactly, it's two.
It's not only yours.
I know, but for some reason the grieving person always takes it personal.
The grieving person would have to win in that case, son.
The grieving person always takes it personal. Like the grief takes
but
the highest.
But sometimes they say no, let's go, and they push it up and is in some form of denial, and then the other person say, are you sure? Let us wait, and then I said let us go, and you know these things cause conflict. Because even when we are grieving, we need to be respectful to our spouse.
I think this is the reason why you don't just marry somebody because you feel like marrying them. I think this is the reason why you need to ensure that you seek the Lord. Because it's not something you're better or worse. And it's not when we get to the altar we're thinking about that part.
Long before.
And the commitment is made in the mind first before you walk down the aisle and put on dress and all these beautiful
things. So you understand what is for the better for worse.
So, you know, it's like if it comes down to even why you marry too, because if you're married for purpose, it doesn't matter when mommy dies or when daddy dies.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It will hurt anytime it happens, but it doesn't. It doesn't matter. This is your God ordained spouse. We're gonna work it through. So whether we decide that we're not gonna get married on that day or we're gonna get married on that day, it will just work out. I personally believe that if we think about even another level, if it's the money we are thinking about, me not really have to worry about that because my mother covered. That is the first thing. So, me can bury my mother and pay back for your wedding.
Wow, awesome.
But I can bury my mother and pay back for the wedding, right? So, I would not even be worrying about that part. Even though I said it earlier, on second thought, me would not worry about that party. So them could have eat the food, they could literally go to they could have still serve the food and we could have still cut up the cake and give them, you understand? But would I lose some money, but we could have pay back for the wedding and do all of that. I still have my dress, we can still do all makeup on here and it can happen again. So on second thought, it wouldn't be that of a big deal.
Especially if your sister not going to be there with you.
Especially if my sister's not going to be there and consider now it's not only me. Desan is grieving. She may not be in a position to support me in the way for a marriage. And I want her to be there in her fullest, and so no, it's not only about me and my spouse. No, but I think she actually has her brother's support.
At the end of the day, it's not my decision.
So she have your support.
I cannot tell this on what she
exactly. So Joshua would support me in whichever way.
If she said no, the answer is no.
And you guys would have to decide if it's either of you.
And our husband of course.
Whichever decision that each of you make, the other two will have to accept.
Desan will not forgive me for allowing her to have her a warm dress while she should feel like dry my sweat. When you're supposed to grieve our mother. That is not a cross I want to bear. I'm not Jesus. So hear what? For the sake of that, not even for me, the bride, for the sake of Desan Watson, the maid of honor, the wedding with a cancel. With a postpone. There's an out there club fun. For the sake of that. But I would still go on the honeymoon that night done book.
I
you probably a maid that we go. If you have a money honeymoon, you have to go marry. Probably a maid that we go at the suite. And then what boy
But would you
husband?
want any sweet at that time? Or
What
you
boy
want to be by
husband?
yourself?
Why I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to want. That's what people offer their own
The
people.
cleaner shit done pay because even she made a mention about money and just pay back. A lot of persons are, when they have wedding, especially, depends on the type of family. Especially if I hear what
Fly
money
out
I use,
And
some
some
people have
persons
loan.
coming from the...
Fly out
Some
family and
people
them
fly out
family.
come for some things, you end up spend up some money and probably end getting exposed to that plan for pay back the money now, but the wedding mash up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, so for the sake of the
how the money I
finances.
got pay back, so
Which is
you know,
right. Which is right.
So you don't want to use some of the accommodations we pay for as well as
Yeah.
you deem it as a loss.
Yeah, because some persons are putting up persons in the hotels, you know, for the day of the wedding.
Yeah.
So can you imagine and they're there from the night before and some 2 nights
What
before.
do you mean?
So can you just, you don't know,
It is a lot of
it depends
cash
on the venue
going
that
on.
you choose and the situation and the circumstance. Instead of having people coming on the day, you have them there from even the night before, and then your wedding the following day.
Mommy, this is what I truly believe. Everything happens for a reason.
And this
And
romance 828, I think
everything happens for a reason.
What could be
And
this reason?
if
That's
right. Okay.
I just know that it would be a
Good
day.
question.
It would be a day to remember. And if that is the case, then we're going to go to the venues and stuff going to happen. Either ways, we can't really predict it. But I know that God will get the glory either ways.
Right. And that is basically it. We can't predict, we can only talk, we can only surmise, but it is good to discuss it. It's good to have the discussion. So just in case you don't just take it by surprise and you just drop down dead.
Still surprising, but cool.
It is still surprising, it's
Still
still going to be
surprising.
shocking, but at least some point you can remember and say, okay, we had this discussion and we know that she would want us to continue. She wouldn't want us not to be happy on the
That is
day.
your way of telling us, cool, understood.
Yes, I would want
the
you
real
guys to be happy.
still, mommy, I'm making the farm of a question.
That is what she's doing. That
in the
is what
form of
Mama is
a question.
The
doing.
thing about it is,
And she knows we don't like talking about she dying.
the thing about it is, I try to prepare you guys for things that comes to mind, and I know that it can be tragic because we don't think about it, we don't normally think about or talk about them, and we kind of dismiss it if it comes to our thought. And I believe that this is a topic that any person, a family, need to have. And as we discuss here, this person's going into marriage need also to have. So at least it don't take you by a surprise. It's not coming like nothing. So even if you forget this and Nuts can say, you know, mommy would want to still get married. So at least that can be a discussion that is had. Joshua said, remember, so we should talk about it before. So it's a discussion, a family discussion between the three of you. So there's no animosity between the three of you.
If at this time we just we start fuck up this
And let it not be said.
And as well as she may say, no, let us go on.
Sure.
No, what we want to know is the same concept apply if one of your siblings there and they're wedding there.
And let it not be
Yes,
said.
it would
Let
be.
it not be said that because mommy wants it to be so. At the end of the day, it is your decision.
And
And
she
she
said
she hit the grave.
And whatever you're feeling in that moment, whatever
It's where you feel.
feels well.
Yeah, because even though it probably was something that I would tell her that it's okay, go ahead and do it, but you are not feeling comfortable and your spouse will give you the leeway and you guys can sit and discuss it and say, okay then,
I'm
all
coming
right.
next year.
I'm really not in
not
a
willing,
mood
girls.
to even to laugh or to smile. I don't want my photographs to spoil. So if it's even 1 week, give me a time to blow off. It is just today.
Yeah.
It is just today. Because
So today,
especially if it's a situation where you actually see your mother pass in front of your eyes, that is going to be another tragic situation.
exactly.
So it is really left to what happens on the day.
What a day you will choose to die.